YouTube channel. I'm Ipsida, the creator of the Positive Window blog, and this is my YouTube channel. And welcome back, guys. Can you believe it? We are just 2 weeks away to say goodbye to the year 2020 and to welcome a new year into our life. And I hope you have been busy preparing for that, even though it's going to be the celebration and the feeling of festival this year is going to be different, but I would request you to keep your spirits up and don't stop feeling festive now that we are all set to say goodbye to the year 2020. I know it's been a very tough year for all of us, but there has been some good side of 2022, and that's what I do, because I feel the year 2020 has been very special for me in many ways, keeping all the bad side or the bad effects aside. And I'm a little nervous about welcoming the year 2021 to my life, but I'm still keeping my fingers crossed and staying hopeful that it's going to be best for all of us. So today's vlog is about book review, or the lessons that a particular book I've learned from a particular book that I've just finished reading. In fact, not recently, but I finished reading it last month. But I've been so busy now with the holidays are going on, and then my kids are on vacation, so I'm like quite so occupied. I hardly have time to sit down and make videos or film my videos. But somehow, after too many attempts, I finally got down to sit and do some videos, and I hope I'll be able to post before Christmas. That's what I'm looking forward to. And so stay tuned and stay until the end of this video, because I have a lot of new announcements, and I'm going to share the vlogs that I'm going to share next after this. So stay tuned and stay with me until the end of this video. So today, this is one of my another favorite author, and I have read all 3 of his books, and this is the book that I'm going to it's one of his books that I'm going to review today, and it's called Show Your Work, and author is Austin Kleon. And I have read all 3 of his books, and the first one is Steal Like an Artist. And if you haven't read or you don't know anything about the author and his work or the book, then please head over to my Positive Window blog and search for book review that says Steal Like an Artist, because you'll find excerpts, you'll find pictures from the books, and it's kind of an interesting posts. And the second book that I finished reading, or I think this is the second one, this is the second book he published after Steal Like an Artist, is Show Your Work. That is 10 ways to share your creativity and get discovered. And I'm going to share my takeaways and the lessons from this book. It's even though the book looks small, all his books are of like the same kind, like the look, but it's a book full of wisdom and a lot of interesting things that author has shared with his readers. And so I would strongly recommend this book for any artists or writers or creative people, and if they are looking for a way to show their work out into the world and connect with others through their creativity or through their creative work, then I should say that you must read these books by author Austin Kleon. And this is the book that I was able to purchase, and I have finished reading this. But these are one of the books, or these are a few of the books that I like to reread, and I go back to these books every time I feel not so inspired, or I feel like I'm distracting, or I'm getting away from my focus of being a writer or a blogger or a future author. So these reading these books keeps me on track and helps me to stay focused. So I'm going to review this book later, but today I'll just quickly do a quick review on my takeaways or my lessons from this book. I'm showing you the soft copy because I'm reading this book online, and in fact, all the other books, or both the other books, I have read online except this. This is my favorite out of 3, so that's the reason I wanted to keep a copy of this book, and I purchased it this year. So let's get started, friends, and I hope you like and you feel inspired. And if you're an artist, or if you're a writer, if you're a creative person, then I'm sure you'll love this review or his books. So his first book, called Steal Like an Artist, was mostly about stealing influence from other people. And this book, Show Your Work, is about how to influence others by letting them steal from you. So there are like a lot of information. It's like a pack full of wisdom, this tiny book, but I'll just share the things that I could relate to, or I really found it very interesting and inspiring to keep going as a creative person, or as an artist, as a writer. And so here you go. He says that creativity is not a talent. He has shared a lot of quotes, in fact, and this is a quote by John Cleese, and he has shared some amazing quotes that'll keep you motivated and glued to the book. And so this is one of those which I found it very interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys. So creativity is not a talent, it's a way of operating. And this quote is by John Cleese, and he says, author Austin Kleon says, it's not enough to be good. In order to be found, you have to be findable. I think there's an easy way of putting your work out there and making it discoverable, while you are focused on getting really good at what you do. So what he wants to say through this book is that if you are an artist, or if you have been doing your creative work and you're not sure how to show your work to the world, or how to connect with others through your work, then this book is going to help you. This is a guide and is a manual to show the step-by-step process of reaching out, or showing your work out there in the world and connecting with others, or connecting with your viewers, your readers, or people with similar interest, or people who want to learn from each other. Like, you know, this is a very helpful book and a guide that's going to tell you how to do it. So what he says is, I wanted to create a kind of beginner's manual for this way of operating. So here's what I came up with: a book for people who hate the very idea of self-promotion. I'm going to try to reach you how to think about your work as a never-ending process, in a way that attracts people who might be interested in what you do, and how to deal with the ups and downs of putting yourself and your work out in the world. So what author wants to say here is that this book is also going to help you. He's created this book, and you can look up to this book as a manual where you can learn how to self-promote yourself. If you are an artist or a creative person, then don't feel shy to keep your work to yourself, because there are people waiting outside to explore new things and learn about something that does not exist. And so you might be able to show your creativity or your difference in work or in your creative creations. And the best way to do is, or best way to show what you're doing, is putting it out in the world and sharing with others. So don't shy away from sharing your work with others. Go ahead and be brave enough to share your work in bits and pieces, and show how you started, show where you are at present, or if you have finished your project, then what were your learnings, mistakes, and failures, and how did you put everything together to come up with the final product. So people, what author says is, like, the readers, the viewers, and the world is very much interested to know the story, your behind the screen story, how you do it, how you achieved it. So it's kind of like, you know, sharing your guidelines or your experiences with the world, with your viewers. And next one, what I felt I could relate to is that Yeah, so that's where I was telling you that people are more interested in knowing your behind the scenes stories, like how you do it, how you manage to work on your projects every single day. And that's what he says is take people behind the scenes. But humans are interested in other human beings and what other human beings do. By putting things out there consistently, you can form a relationship with your customers. It allows them to see the person behind the products. So what he says again is like there's a continuation to this paragraph, and he says audiences not only want to stumble across great work, but they too long to be creative and part of the creative process. So he wants you to share the complete process, or the process if your product has been finished or it's not, it's still halfway to be completed, but go ahead and share the stories, your experiences with the world, with your readers. So another thing that I like here is he says become a documentarian of what you do. And he has shared a very, very amazing quote by my another favorite author, Brené Brown, and she says, in order for connection to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be seen, really seen. Whatever the nature of your work, there is an art to what you do, and there are people who would be interested in that art if only you presented it to them in the right way. So, and there is something else that I really liked or learned from this book is share something small every day. Send out a daily dispatch. So he says, put yourself, and this is another quote, and it's by Bobby Solomon, put yourself and your work out there every day, and you will start meeting some amazing people. So he says, a daily dispatch is even better than a resume or a portfolio because it shows what we are working on right now. So this is my third lessons or third takeaways from the book, and I love it. And I have just few more, and then I'll be done because I'll not take too long to complete this blog, and I hope you find it inspiring. Okay. The form of what you share doesn't matter. That's what author says. Your daily dispatch can be anything you want: a blog post, an email, a tweet, YouTube video, or some other little bit of media. And the next one he says is, don't be a hoarder. Before we are ready to take the leap of sharing our own work with the world, we can share our tastes in the work of others. Friends, the next important lesson that I've learned from his book, which I always think about when I share my work online or on my social media, is that I've seen people not giving the proper credit to somebody's work when they share it on their timeline. Maybe it's a quote or just a picture, a photograph, or somebody's write-up. Friends, when you give credit to the person who has created that piece of work, be it a writing, a quote, or a artwork, or any kind of digital creation, so you kind of add value to somebody's hard work. You give them, when you give them the credit, when you share their name and their website address, or the link to their website or to their post, so it kind of helps them to get discovered. And it also creates and it's kind of a kindness act, friends, kindness act. So try to share or give credit to others work when you share it on your timeline or on your social media accounts. So what author says is, and it's a very important lesson, and I was so happy that author thinks the same way that I always have had this thought in my mind, and I was so happy to read when he shared this in his book. And he says credit is always due. If you share the work of others, it's your duty to make sure that the creators of that work gets proper credit. He says crediting work in our copy and paste age of reblogs and retweets can seem like a futile effort, but it's worth it, and it's the right thing to do. You should always share the work of others as if it were your own, treating it with respect and care. And he says, if you fail to properly attribute work that you share, you not only rob the person who made it, you rob all the people you have shared it with. Without attribution, they have no way to dig deeper into the work or find more about it. So friends, make sure next time when you share somebody's work or their ideas or their pictures or their or any kind of creative work that inspires you, then please make sure you give credit to the creator of that work. That'll help, and it'll also spread good vibes around the web. And the last thing that I want to share, he says, is tell good stories. Work doesn't speak for itself. So what I feel is, he says, people are more interested in knowing about the different stages of your final output, like how you started, your failures, mistakes, etc., everything. So try to share your work or your experiences and your stories. Create a story of your experiences, of your effort, how you completed your journey, and how you created your projects, and share it with everyone. Share good stories with everyone around the world. And the last thing, the very important thing that I learned from his book, Show Your Work, is teach what you know and share. That means share your trade secrets. Think about what you can share from your process that would inform the people you're trying to reach. The minute you learn something, turn around and teach it to others. Share your reading list, point to helpful reference materials, take people step by step through part of your process. As blogger Kathy Sierra says, make people better at something they want to be better at. And he says, author Austin Kleon says, teaching people doesn't subtract value from what you do, it actually adds to it. So this is such a beautiful learning from the book, and I just want to implement in my life and the things that I do. And so I'm going to end this video by reading the last paragraph that he shares under share your trade secrets and teach what you know. Is, when you teach someone how to do your work, you are in fact generating more interest in your work. People feel closer to your work because you are letting them in on what you know. Best of all, when you share your knowledge and your work with others, you receive an education in return. So friends, these were my lessons or my learnings and my takeaways from the book called Show Your Work by author Austin Kleon. And if you really liked, or if you could relate to any of this that I read or shared with you, then go ahead and grab a copy of his book. And my favorite is, out of his 3 books, this is my favorite, that says Keep Going. And I'm going to do a review in my next blog. And I'm going to share the best things or the best takeaways from this book that I have learned. And let me tell you that I'm going to use these lessons or all this information in my life, and I'll try to be better than what I am today, and I'll try to make things better than the way I received it. And that's what my goal is. And so that's it for today, friends. And until we meet again, I'm planning to do 2 more vlogs before Christmas, but I hope I'm not going to commit or promise you guys, but I'll try, and I'll try to come up with 2 more vlogs. And I hope you liked this vlog or this video. Then please give me a thumbs up, please like and share and subscribe. And until we meet again, friends, bye. Stay beautiful, stay your best. Stay positive, be kind, and keep smiling. Bye, friends.